What's going on, you guys? I'm as always Mr. Grimreaper 2 with the one and only Dark 997, and welcome to another edition of Film Fights. It's time to knuckle up once again, and ladies and gentlemen, tonight is not like any other. Tonight, me and Knight are going to talk about the 1998 remake. And it's 2020. The 1998 film, the 1998 Disney animated movie, Mulan, and its 2020 live action remake. So, he has not seen it. He's seen the 98 version, but he has not seen the 2020 version. But who gives a fuck? Because I'm going to tell him the plot anyway. So, yes, spoilers are very welcomed. So, if you have not seen either the 98 version or the 2020 version, get the fuck off this video. Go to Disney Plus. Watch them both. Let us know what you guys thought. So we're going to talk about the best Mulan. Why? Which one was better? Which one? Why did the other version? Why the? Okay, so we're going to talk about characters in both films. We're going to talk about representation in both films of Asian descent, and we're going to talk about, and last but not least, we're going to talk about humor, which, spoilers, the 2020 version is deeply fucking lacking. So, strap in, because it's gonna be fucking interesting. And yes, I'm gonna put on my broken ass glasses. Yes, I know, they're broken. Sorry. I can't see shit right now, so.
Yeah, don't worry, guys, he's gonna work on getting a new pair, so just bear with him.
Yeah, just bear with me for right now. If I look like Steve Urkel, then oh well. I don't give a fuck. Cause I can't see shit. And my eyes are watery, so yeah, yeah, I might look like one of the Dudleys, but I don't give a fuck. Whatever. So we're going to talk about this goddamn movie. We're going to talk about this shit. And we're going to talk about the better version first. The better version, which is the 98 version. I don't give a fuck what you guys think. Was directed by Barry Cook and Tony Bancroft. The original version stars Ming-Na Wen, Eddie Murphy, B.D. Wong, Miguel Ferrer, June Ferrer, James Hong, Pat Morita, and George Takei. And, yeah. The other fucking version was directed by Niki Caro. Based on the original version. And it stars, the live action version stars Yifei Liu, Donnie Yen, Zima, Jason Scott Lee, Yosin An, Ron Yuan, Gong Li, and Jet Li.
Yes, that's Jet Li.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about these movies and stuff like that. We're going to talk about both of them. Which one was better, why they were better. And, yeah, so starting with the 1998 version, and then we're gonna do with the next version. We're gonna do the other version. Talk about that one, and then we're gonna I'll let y'all guys know how me and Dark Knight 987 felt about both these versions. So yeah. All right.
Definitely.
Starting with the 98 version. The Huns, who are led by ruthless Shang Yu, invade the Imperial Han China by breaching the Great Wall. The Chinese Emperor orders a general mobilization with conscriptions notices requiring one man from each family to join the Chinese army. When Fa Mulan hears that her elderly father, Fa Zhou, the only man in their family and an army veteran, is going to war once more, she becomes anxious and apprehensive due to his weakening health. Taking her father's old armor and cutting her long hair, she disguises herself as a man so that she can enlist instead of her parent. The family quickly learns of her departure, and Mulan's grandmother prays to their family ancestors for Mulan's safety. The ancestors order the Great Stone Dragon to protect Mulan. They send the small dragon, Mushu, a disgraced former guardian, to awaken the stone dragon. See how he's laughing? See how Knight is laughing? That's why this shit's so far much fucking more better than the other one.
Yeah.
Alright, anyway. Oh, shit. God damn it. Fucking glasses. But he accidentally destroys it in the process. Mushu conceals this from the ancestors and resolves to protect Mulan himself. Reporting to the training camp, Mulan is able to pass as a man, although her military skills are initially lacking. Mushu provides clumsy guidance to Mulan on how to behave like a man based on his poor judgment and stereotypical views, because he's an idiot. Under the command of Captain Li Shang, she and her fellow recruits Yao, Ling, and Shin Po gradually become trained warriors. Desiring to see Mulan succeed, Mushu creates a fake order from Shang's father, General Li, ordering Shang to follow the main Imperial army into the mountains. The reinforcements set out but arrive at a burnt-out encampment and discover that General Li and his troops have been massacred by the Huns. As the reinforcements solemnly leave the mountains, they are ambushed by the Huns, but Mulan cleverly uses a Wong Souci cannon. I'm butchering these names. Sorry, guys. To cause an avalanche, which buries most of the invaders. An enraged Shang Yi slashes her in the chest, and her deception is revealed when the wound is bandaged. Instead of executing Mulan as the law requires, Shang spares her life, but nonetheless expels her from the army. Mulan is left to follow alone as the recruits depart for the Imperial City to report the news of the Han's destruction. However, it is discovered that several Han warriors, including Shang Yu, have survived the avalanche, and Mulan catches sight of them as they make their way to the city, intent on capturing the Emperor. At the Imperial City, Mulan tries convincing Shang about Shang Yu's survival to no avail. The Huns capture the Emperor and seize the palace. With Mulan's help, Yao, Ling, and Xiao Po pose as concubines and are able to enter the palace. With the help of Shang, they defeat Shang Yu's men as Shang prevents Shan Yu from assassinating the Emperor. Mulan lures the Hun leader onto the roof, where she engages him in single combat. Meanwhile, acting on Mulan's instruction and signal, Mushu fires a large skyrocket at Shang Yu. The rocket strikes and propels him into a fireworks launching tower, where he dies in the resulting explosion. Mulan is initially reprimanded by the emperor for having destroyed the palace and shamed the army and her family, but is unexpectedly praised by himself and the assembled inhabitants of the city for having saved them, who bow to her in an unprecedented honor. While she accepts the crest of the emperor, and the sword of Shang Yu as gifts, she politely declines his offer to be his advisor and asks to return to her family. Mulan returns home and presents these gifts to her father, who is overjoyed to have Mulan back safely. Having become enamored with Mulan, Shang soon arrives under the pretext of returning her helmet, but accepts the family's invitation to stay for dinner. Mushu is reinstated as a Fa family guardian by the ancestors amid a returning celebration, thus ending the 1998 version of Mulan.
Yes.
Now that we got that out of the way, if you could hear the laughter of my esteemed pal, Mr. Dark 9987, he was laughing at the fact that this movie's fucking funnier than the 2020 fucking version.
Exactly.
You want to know why? I'll give you a good I'll give you two words. Eddie Murphy.
Exactly.
Mushu and the cricket were funny as fuck in this fucking movie. This movie is far more fucking superior than that of the 2020 version. And it is so much better. And I'm going to talk about we're going to get into the 2020 version, but dude, what did you think about the 1998 version of Mulan?
I thought it was good. I loved it. Like I said before, Eddie Murphy, who played the voice of Mushu. And Eddie Murphy, those you know, great actor. A lot of other movies like Night Professor and Professor 2. He has been in Harlem Nights. He has been in all the great movies. A funny guy, trust me. Norbert is another one that comes to mind. Great actor. And that's why I'm happy because he was so funny in this movie. And of course, another actor I know named B.D. Wong, who those may not be familiar with him. He was no longer at SVU as the psychiatrist, Dr. Wong. In there, he was like Detective Stabler and Benson always come to him. And then, so what do you think of this guy? What does he have any issues? He would, give them about how to handle the suspects if they're going through anything or any issues they have. That's what he did in SVU. That was pretty cool. Also, Ming-Na Wen, who was the voice of Mulan, she was also had a little part in SVU as well. They played the games with that to help her family, her sister, who was in trouble anyway. So a lot of great actors. Of course, the late Pat Morita, God rest his soul, who was Mr. Miyagi and the Karate Kid, did a great job as the Emperor. God rest his soul. This is in memory of him, by the way. And anyway, so a lot of I enjoyed the animated. The anime is where it's at. I like the classic. It's a great movie. And like I said, Nose to the Dragon, funny. Great. Just a great, funny part of the film. I laughed my ass off at. And so that's why I love it, because Eddie Murphy did a great job as Mushu, and that's what he was known for, as being a funny guy. So it was a great movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I was reading a little bit about the controversy concerning the 2020 version. We'll get into that and why this movie was so bad. But yeah, let's talk about the 2020 shit version, shall we? The 2020 crap version was directed by Niki Caro. And already you guys don't need to know who started it, but it was okay. It was a good movie. It was alright, whatever. But Ye-Fei Liu, Donnie Yen, Zima, Jason Scott Lee, and Jet Li. Okay, whatever. But anyway, so let us discuss this bullshit version. and talk about the plot. Spoilers, by the way. If you have not seen this again, watch it on Disney Plus. Yada yada yada, yakety smackety, blah blah blah. Here we go. So, in Imperial China, Hua Mulan, as she's known as in this one now, is an adventurous and active girl to the disappointment of her parents, who hope that one day she will be wed to a good husband. As a young woman, Mulan is forced to meet with a matchmaker to demonstrate her fitness as a future wife. Mulan, flustered, attempts to pour tea in front of the matchmaker, but a spider causes her to knock over the kettle, and the matchmaker calls her a disgrace in front of her family. Okay. The matchmaker is a bitch, by the way, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
To the north.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that already. I read.
To the north, an Imperial outpost is invaded by roaring warriors under the leadership of Bori Khan, whose characters bullshit.
Yeah.
They are assisted by the witch Jinyang, who uses her magic to pose as a surviving soldier and report the attack to the Emperor of China. To the Emperor of China, excuse me. He then issues a conscription decree ordering every family to contribute one man to fight Khan's forces. Ring any bells? The 98 version did a lot better.
Yeah.
Imperial soldiers arrive in Mulan's village to enlist recruits, and her elderly and frail father, Fa Zhou, is forced to pledge his service as he has no sons. Realizing that her father has no choice of survival, Mulan flees with his armored horse and sword to join in his place. Mulan arrives at the training camp, which is run by Commander Tung, an old comrade of Fa Zhou, alongside dozens of other inexperienced recruits. She ultimately becomes a trained soldier under his tutelage without exposing her true identity. The Khan's army continues to advance, forcing Tung to end training early and send his battalion to fight. Mulan chases some troops on her own, but is confronted by Zhang Yang, who mocks her for pretending to be a man. Excuse me. She attempts to kill Mulan, but flees when her attacks are stopped by Mulan's leather armor. Mulan removes her male disguise, returning to the battle just as Roruns begin attacking her fellow troops with a trebuchet. Mulan uses a discarded helmet and her archery skills to maneuver the trebuchet into firing on a snowy mountain, triggering an avalanche that buries the ruins. Mulan rides back to the camp and rescues Qin Hongyu, a soldier she befriended in the camp. Unable to hide her true gender any longer, she is expelled from the army and begins her return home. On her way, she is confronted by Zhang Yang, who reveals that she was also shunned by her people and fights for Bori Khan only because he treats her as an equal. Additionally, she reveals that the attacks on the outposts have been a diversion, as Khan's true plan is to capture and execute the Emperor for having his father killed. Risking execution, Mulan returns to her battalion to warn them of the impending capture. Tung decides to believe her and allows her to accompany a unit to the Emperor's palace. Zhang Yang, posing as the Emperor Chancellor, persuades the Emperor to accept Bori Khan's challenge to single combat. While removing the city guard from their posts, the guards are murdered, and Roruns prepare to burn the Emperor alive. Mulan's unit distracts the Roruns while Mulan goes to save the Emperor. Khan tries to snipe her with an arrow, but Zhang Yang, sympathetic to Mulan and disenchanted with Khan transforming into a bird and sacrifices herself by catching the arrow. Mulan kills Khan, but not before he disarms her and destroys her father's sword. She frees the emperor, who offers to let her join his personal guard. She declines the offer and returns to her village. Mulan is reunited with her family. An emissary from the emperor, under the leadership of Commander Tung, arrives to present Mulan with a new sword while making a personal request that she join the emperor's guard. Thus ending...
Oh boy.
This piece of shit. Now, before I go any fucking further with this fucking piece of shit movie, I want to talk about some of the controversies that were involved in this. Listen to this. Yeah. A call to boycott the film began when the lead actress reshared an image posted by the People's Diary, an unofficial newspaper of the Chinese Communist Party. The image included a quote from Chinese reporter Fu Guahu, who worked for the state-owned tabloid Global Times and was subsequently assaulted by protesters during the 2019-2020 Hong Kong protests. Quote, "I support Hong Kong police. You can beat me now. What a shame for Hong Kong." This sparked international controversy, with Liu being accused of supporting police brutality in Hong Kong. The hashtag Boycott Mulan has since started trending, supporting a boycott of the film. In response to the controversy, Liu was not present at the 2019 D23 Expo, which gave fans an exclusive sneak peek of the film. Back in February of this month, film producer Jason T. Reed said that Mulan's love interest, Captain Li Shang, was dropped in response to the Me Too movement. In his statement, he explained that having a commanding officer that is also the sexual love interest was very uncomfortable, and we didn't think it was appropriate. Are you fucking kidding me? Fuck you. The reasoning behind the removal was met with social media backlash from fans of the original films and members of the LGBT community, who deemed Shang's relationship with Mulan's male alter ego Ping to be bisexual. Reed was initially surprised by criticism by Shang's removal, but acknowledged that the character had become an LGBT icon. Right, and I'm Winnie the fucking Pooh. And clarified that Shang's role would be served by two new characters, Commander Tong and Xing Hung Wei. Disney received some criticism for hiring a white director for the film rather than an Asian director. In a February 2020 interview with the Hollywood Reporter, director Niki Caro responded to the criticism by saying, quote, "Although it's critically important Chinese story and it's set in Chinese culture and history, there is another culture to play here, which is the culture of Disney. Blah, 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 blah." Okay, whatever.
You need to go further. Okay.
Yeah. So I think I kind of sort of made my point.
Yeah, you did.
With the controversies behind this god-awful movie. Why? It's saying here the film was received generally positive reviews from critics who praised the action sequences, the visuals, and performances, but criticized the screenplay. Let me tell you a little something about this movie. Yes, the action scenes, some of the action scenes were good. Yes, some of them. The performances, not so much. The visuals were good. The visuals were good in this movie, but it was still complete shit. Here's the reason why. You are gonna fucking sit there, and then you have to be kidding me. You get this chick who don't know shit from shit, who don't know how to fucking act at all neither. Not to mention, she has no idea what the fuck she's doing. She has no idea what is she doing at all. She has no idea that she is that she has no idea what's going on. She has no fucking clue what is going on.
Yeah.
She has no idea how to be an actor. The only person in this movie that was acting their asses off was the father. Was the person that played the father in this movie. Everyone else was dumb. Everyone else played dumb or stupid. And had no idea what the hell they're doing.
Wow.
Mulan in this movie comes off as she already knows the art. She has a chi. She has some sort of chi or whatever. In the original movie, the original was so much better than this one. There was so much drama in the original version. There was so much those comedic moments in the original one that was so much far much more fucking better than this one. So far better than this. For y'all to say in this one, what is in this one? What is in this one? Not a dragon. Not a dragon that talks. Not a dragon that fucking talks, but a goddamn phoenix that has no point to the story whatsoever.
Oh, Jesus.
A phoenix, a bird that has no point to the story, period. There's been a lot of iterations of Mulan in the in historical books and stuff like that. You can look up the characters for real. The original, the 1998 version, was so much superior than this one on so many levels. But what do you think, man? What do you think? What do you think about the controversy and all this other stuff surrounding the 2020 version of Mulan? And what did you think about what is your thoughts after reading the plot for the 2020 version?
I gotta say, I'm not gonna watch this remake. My opinion on remakes is you gotta leave the movies alone. They don't need to be remade. The fact is, remakes, they butcher the original plot. They butcher the original film. It takes everything out of context, number one. And number two, hello, her name is Fa Mulan, not Hua Mulan. That is a wonder if I saw that they changed her name.
Yeah.
Oh my god, really? It's Fa Mulan. Oh my god, I gotta say that right now. And then, of course, having somebody else instead of the original leader from the original film, I mean, come on. Just because of, that's just so stupid. If you want to do a remake of a movie from originally, you have to kind of go by the original plot. You have to kind of go by the original story.
Yes.
You cannot be changing characters because of some... Oh my god. And not to mention the fact, in the original, a little dragon, like Eddie Murphy, funny, you don't have nothing like that in the actual, I mean, come on. And then you have different villains, rather than the Huns from the original one. And me personally, I would love to have seen what they would look like in live action. I would love to see how they would look in real life. Those Huns. You know, but changing the villains too, and this is...
Yeah, I know how you feel. I know how you feel. I know how you feel, Bubba. But this is how I feel about it. I feel I feel like you should watch this because it should give you an idea of what not to do in a fucking remake. of what not to do in a remake like this. This is the problem that me and Knight have with fucking remakes. Remakes make it fucking dog shit. Some remakes are become dog shit, like this one. This has no point to it. This has no point. They try too fucking much. And it's just so fucking awful how fucking horrible this shit is. How horrible this fucking crap is. And I just can't say it enough. This shit was so horrible. Yes, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say that there is some good moments in the 2020 version. Yes, there is. But you take out the ancestors in this. You take out the cricket. You take out the dragon. You take out the comedy. You take out the comedic, the humor. They try humor in the 2020 version, but it doesn't land like a motherfucker at all. Neither at all. They try humor, but it doesn't land at all. Not one point at all. So the 2020 version is not good at all, one bit. Not in the least. The 1998 version is so much better. And Knight is right when he says, leave it alone. Stop making bullshit remakes. Stop making these bullshit remakes to movies that don't need it. You want to make remakes? Make remakes to the fucking ones that need it. Don't make it to the bullshit ones.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be I just can't say it anymore. I give the 98 version a 10 out of 10. And I give the 2020 version a 2 out of 10. Because the 98 version was so much fucking better than the fucking 2020 version, and it fucking shows. Dude, me and you both know this to be true. The 98 version is much more hilarious. It's much more dramatic. It's much more better than the 2020 version. I'm so happy he said that he will never see this, but I kind of want him. I don't want to see. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't want the 2020 version to scare you away. I want you to try to give it I want you to. I'm not saying don't watch it. I'm saying give it a try. Because I want him to see first and foremost what I was talking about. Why this movie is so bad. I want him to see this movie. I do want him to see this. And I want him to see why it was so bad. So that way he can get an understanding of, oh, Grimm was right. Grimm was right about what he said. Even with reading the plot to this movie, I see this shit is horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not saying don't watch it. I say watch it at your own risk. Because if you think that this movie is any good, if you think that the 2020 version is any good at all, please, for God's sakes, tell me why in the comment section down below. If you think the 2020 version was not good at all, please leave a message in the comment section down below telling me why it sucked. Because I want to know from you guys. I want to know from even Knight himself whenever he gets a chance to watch this movie why this fucking shit sucked. because it is so horrible. It is so terrible. How bad this movie was. How bad this shit was. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below, guys, what you guys think about the 2020 and the 98 versions of Mulan, and stuff like that. I'm so glad I tore this fucking motherfucker apart.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The winner of this film fight by knockout, the 98 Mulan. End of story.
Yes, sir. The 98 version wins this fucking round. Again. Sing. Again. You see why? You see why remakes are shit. You see why? That remakes are complete gutter trash. That's why. That's going to be it for Mr. Grimreaper. That's going to be it for me. I'm Mr. Grimreaper Volume 2 with Dark Knight 987. We're going to talk about another movie coming up next. We're going to talk about another one another day. We're going to talk about the Cinderella remake. I want to fucking talk about that one too, because that one pissed me off.
Alrighty.
It's another Disney remake on film fights. I'm Mr. Grimreaper 512 with the one and only Dark 997.
Yep.
And we'll see you all in the afterlife. Thank you. And good night. Deuces.